So in case you've been living under a rock for the last year, a while back, Strymon, one of the world's leading pedal builders, and in my opinion the best in the game, came out with the Strymon Iridium. The Strymon Iridium emulates 3 different amplifiers: a Fender, a Vox, and a Marshall. It basically takes the place of an amp, and by putting this thing on your pedal board, you are all ready to go. No amp needed. So that is the major selling point. You don't have to lug around a heavy amplifier to every gig, every church service, just everywhere. It's just you grab your pedal board and you go. Another unique aspect that the Iridium provides is the ability to be silent. So you can have a jam session at midnight without having your neighbors in the apartment above you banging on your roof telling you to shut up. You can rock and roll whenever you want to, and all you have to do is throw on some headphones. I was actually really blown away by the quality of the sound that comes out of this thing just when you plug some headphones into it and you start jamming. Another amazing part about it is the fact that it only costs a few $100s rather than maybe if you wanted to get the sounds of a single one of those amplifiers, you might have to spend closer to $1,000. And then it's 3 amplifiers. Now there might be one downside in that it lacks the energy and the attitude supplied by a real tube amp sitting in a room with you. There's a movement of air that you just don't get from it. But I want to talk about what the actual sound differences are. And so in this video, I'm going to be comparing the Strymon Iridium to my DSL 100H amplifier. Now, to make things as fair as I can, I'm going to be putting the Iridium on punch mode, which is emulating a Marshall plexi. Now, I have the DSL 100H, but that's as close as I can get. I'm going to be setting the EQs all at 12 o'clock on both the Iridium and the DSL 100H. And as for the drive, it will stay the same between the different phases of the video. So I'll have one with low drive, medium drive, and high drive. Last thing you might be wondering is, how am I going to be recording these signals? All I'm going to do is plug the Iridium straight into my interface, and I am not going to do any processing in post. As for the Marshall itself, I'm going to be hooking it up with just an SM57 standard microphone, and then it's going to be routed right into the interface with no post-processing as well. I personally think both of these pieces of gear sound great, but I'm going to be using them for completely different reasons. The Marshall I take with me when I need to do a gig, like let's say at a basketball game or a baseball game where I'm playing the national anthem, or just to rock out in my room when I have the ability to not have to be wearing headphones. And sometimes when I want to record some of my own music, I opt for the Iridium since I get rid of all of the extra room noise and buzz that comes from a real amplifier, and I can get a cleaner signal. Now, will I be getting rid of my Marshall because of the Iridium? No, of course not. But I do think that the Iridium does a great job, and it's so close to the real thing that if you play it at a church gig, a venue, or even in a recording, nobody's going to be able to tell the difference. And that's what's so amazing about it for me. Now I want to hear your thoughts. Which one do you think won? Would you use the Strymon Iridium? Or are you always going to be a tube amp kind of guy? I'd love to hear your opinion. Thank you for watching Logan's Lessons.